Do you believe that your faith or beliefs would be able to withstand an event that challenges everything you hold to be true? In today's video, we'll follow the transformative story of Sob Faruqi, a young woman whose near-death experience completely changed her view of God, life, and the purpose of existence. From an unexpected accident to revelations that transcend religious traditions, this journey is an invitation to reflect on truth, spirituality, and how we can deal with such profound changes. Get ready to discover how a life can be transformed in an instant. Let's get started. Everyday life before the turn. The routine of Sob Faruqi. It was an ordinary morning in Lansing, Michigan, and Sob Faruqi's routine went smoothly, marked by the traditions of his devout Muslim family. From daily prayers to fasting during Ramadan, faith was the guiding thread of her existence, defining her choices and her sense of identity. Growing up in a deeply religious home, Sob lived a life that seemed unchanging and predictable, with no major twists in sight. However, a series of seemingly trivial events was about to trigger a drastic transformation. A carbon monoxide detector with a low battery, an almost insignificant detail, became the trigger for an experience that would challenge his worldview. The day, which began normally enough, quickly turned into a nightmare as carbon monoxide poisoning began to affect his entire family. Sob found herself in a state of increasing despair, trying to seek help as her consciousness faded. These critical moments not only determined her physical survival, but also led to a spiritual awakening that would change the course of her life. This experience revealed how fragile our existence is and made us question how we are so unprepared for the unpredictable. To what extent do we value the present and prepare ourselves for what transcends our daily understanding? Chance, that day, became the catalyst for a revelation that would redefine not only Sob's life, but also the way she saw the world. Between life and death, the moment that changed everything. During the moments when she was clinically dead, Sob Faruqi experienced something beyond human logic and understanding. Floating above her inert body, she watched the paramedics desperately trying to bring her back to life. But what awaited her went far beyond earthly vision. Instead of a tunnel of light, so often described by those who go through similar experiences, Sob was enveloped in a deep, dense darkness. In this vastness, an angelic presence emerged, radiating an ancestral and comforting force which guided her on a journey of spiritual self-knowledge. The angel showed Sob her life like in a movie, every decision, every action, but most importantly, the consequences of her actions on those around her. It was a moment of confrontation with reality, where she realized that the rigidity of her adherence to religious norms, instead of bringing her closer to the truth, was creating barriers between her and a deeper purpose. How do we face the possibility that our beliefs, so carefully nurtured, may be taking us away from the essence of life? This experience was not just a retrospective of her actions, but a call to question the foundations that underpinned her faith. Sob began to realize that life is much more than following rules or dogmas. It is a complex web of choices that resonate beyond what our eyes can see. That moment between life and death invited her to reflect on the true meaning of her existence. Visions of the divine, the truth beyond traditions. As the experience deepened, Sob was led by the angel into a dimension of revelations that transcended her own life, expanding into an understanding of human history and its spiritual connections. She saw how religions, over time, have suffered distortions that have hijacked their original messages. Once pure traditions have been shaped by human interests, creating barriers between humanity and divine truth. Sob witnessed visions of souls being drawn towards the light, while others were lost in darkness, symbolizing choices that transcend external appearances. It wasn't about specific religious rituals or practices. It was about the essence of the choices that shape our souls. This revelation was not limited to Islam. but encompassed all human beliefs. Sob understood that sincerity and faith was not enough to reach the truth. The truth required a deeper alignment with something greater and more universal. This journey of visions not only challenged her beliefs, but forced her to consider what it really means to live a life grounded in truth. As she was confronted with these realities, Sob also saw how her own faith could be used as a bridge to guide others to a deeper understanding. This realization was not just a personal insight, it was a mission that was beginning to take shape. Face to face with God. Sob's transforming encounter. The culmination of his experience was a direct encounter with the essence of God, a revelation that completely shattered the notions Sob had internalized throughout his life. God was not distant, cold or harsh, as she had often imagined. Instead, Sob found a loving God, intimate and deeply interested in every soul. The true nature of God, revealed to her, was not in the human interpretations that so often divide, but in a unifying truth that transcends rituals and dogmas. This revelation completely changed her perception of salvation. It wasn't about obeying rules or following a religious formula, but about establishing a real and living relationship with God through faith in Jesus Christ. This experience profoundly shook Sob's beliefs, leading her to question how so many people, including herself, could base their lives on distorted understandings of divinity. How can we connect to the essence of God when our beliefs are shrouded in layers of human interpretations? The encounter with the truth not only reconfigured her worldview, but gave Sob a renewed purpose, to live and share this new perspective, even in the face of rejection or misunderstanding. It was the beginning of a new phase in her spiritual journey, where inner transformation became an irresistible force to impact other lives. A challenging truth, dealing with rejection and purpose. Upon returning to life, Sob Faruqi realized that his spiritual journey had only just begun. Facing reality outside the spiritual plane proved to be as challenging as the near-death experience itself. Sharing the truths he had discovered was a test of faith, as resistance from his family and the Muslim community was intense. Initial rejection was accompanied by fear and misunderstanding, but Sob found strength in the urgency of her message. She understood that her story had the power to inspire and transform, especially those struggling with their own spiritual doubts. Despite the pain of rejection, Sob saw how her experience could touch others on deep levels. What happens when what we hold to be true challenges social, family, and religious norms? Sob became a living testimony that faith can overcome adversity and generate significant change, even in the face of a hostile environment. Her courage in sharing her experience began a new phase in her life, that of being a voice for those who were still searching for answers. The echo of her truth. Community responses. The Muslim community responded to Sob's journey in different ways, oscillating between rejection and curiosity. While some considered her a traitor to their traditions, others were drawn to her story and began to question their own beliefs. Visits from people seeking answers became frequent, and Sob realized that her experience wasn't just about her. She was part of a larger movement in search of the truth. This realization brought a new purpose to her life. How can the courage to share a personal experience inspire others to revisit their convictions? Sob's testimony became a beacon of hope, lighting the way for those who felt trapped in traditions that no longer resonated with their souls. Little by little, she saw how her story could trigger collective reflections, generating an impact beyond what she could have imagined. This dialogue with the community revealed the transformative power of vulnerability and authenticity. Transformations in the family. Sob's spiritual journey. As time passed, the seeds planted by Sob's experience began to blossom, especially within her own family. His sister Amira, who was skeptical at first, began to ask questions and gradually opened her heart to explore the Christian faith. This change was a tangible sign of the impact of Sob's revelations, proving that his spiritual transformation had the power to influence even the closest ties. What is it like for a family to see one of its members question and eventually re-evaluate their fundamental beliefs? Sob's journey revealed that the search for truth can divide as well as unite, but that love and understanding have the ability to overcome any barrier. Sob's story became living proof of how faith, even when challenging, can bring clarity, growth, and renewal to relationships, both spiritual and familial. This family dynamic reinforced the impact of her journey, showing that change can begin at home and radiate out into the community. A courageous voice, sharing the truth with the world. Eventually, Sob was invited to share her story at a local church, a moment that tested her courage like never before. Facing the fear of rejection and anxiety, she took to the stage to tell her experience. As she spoke, an inner strength drove her, filling her with confidence and purpose. The audience's emotional reactions with tears and applause showed that her message was reaching people's hearts. What happens when we find the courage to share our truth? For Sob, this meant not only validating her experience, but also connecting with a community that welcomed her and strengthened her faith. This event marked a new chapter in her spiritual life, transforming her testimony into a powerful tool to inspire and guide others. Sob felt that by opening her heart, she was not only growing, but also helping others to find the courage to explore their own spiritual journeys. From home to refuge, Sob's space of transformation. 2 years after her transformative experience, Sob Faruqi saw her house become more than just a home. It became a meeting place for those seeking answers, including ex-Muslims and people of different faiths. Their stories and experiences were shared, creating a network of mutual support that transcended religious and cultural barriers. But what does it really mean to create a safe space for the search for truth? For Sob, it was offering welcome without judgment, an environment where people could explore deep doubts without fear. His journey was not just a personal testimony, but the catalyst for a larger movement of spiritual transformation. Sob showed that the search for truth is not a solitary journey, but a collective one, involving courage, empathy, and a willingness to change. Persistence in adversity, faith as strength. Despite spiritual growth and positive changes in his life and community, Sob still faced constant struggles. Fear of rejection persisted, as did social pressure from his Muslim community. The weight of expectations and criticism often tested her resilience. However, she found strength in her renewed faith, which gave her the certainty that her experience had a greater purpose. How can we find courage in the face of such challenging adversity? For Sob, the answer lay in remembering that her journey was bigger than herself. Her determination to carry on, even in the face of opposition, became a living example that the truth, no matter how painful, can prevail. Her story became an inspiration to those who also face difficulties for standing up for what they believe in, showing that resilience is a powerful tool in the quest for transformation. Amira's transformation, Sob's greatest gift. Between challenges and victories, Sob found his greatest joy in the transformation of his sister Amira. Initially skeptical, Amira finally confessed that she too had found faith in Jesus. This revelation was not only a spiritual achievement, but an emotional milestone for Sob. The bond between the two grew stronger, creating an even deeper connection. What does it mean for a family to witness one of its members embracing the truth? For Sob, it was confirmation that her mission went beyond words. It was a call to live her faith authentically, inspiring others to follow the same path. This transformation solidified Sob's mission to share his story with even more determination, proving that the impact of truth goes beyond individual transformations, reaching entire families and communities. A legacy of hope, lighting paths with truth. Today, Sob Faruqi continues her mission to share her story, knowing that every life touched is a victory in her spiritual journey. She understands that her testimony is not only about her own transformation, but also about the hope she offers to others who are searching for answers. What does it mean to leave a legacy of truth and faith? For Sob, it means lighting the way for those who are still lost, showing that even in the most difficult circumstances, the truth has the power to transform. His experience has become a constant reminder that the impact of our actions and choices can reverberate beyond our own existence. Sob not only lives his faith, but shares it as a flame that continues to inspire and guide those who cross his path. And so we conclude Sob Faruqi's extraordinary journey, a story that has shown us how an unexpected moment can transform deeply held beliefs. From her spiritual revelations to the impact on her family and community, her courage in seeking and sharing the truth is a powerful testimony to faith and resilience. What would you do if you were confronted with an experience that challenged everything you believe in? If this content has brought you reflections, please like, share and subscribe to the channel for more inspiring stories like this one. Thanks for watching and see you in the next video.